Happy Wednesday. Cindy is here. Good morning, Cindy. Hi, Hannah. How are you? I hope everybody's having a fabulous week so far. So, this morning we are going to have a very fun day working on some granny squares. And I'll tell you what, I've watched a lot of YouTubes on granny squares. There are so many different ways to make granny squares. Everybody's got their own little method to do it. And this is what I learned on. I learned from Mama Wheeler. I see Mama Wheeler over there on YouTube popping in this morning. Hey, Mello, good morning. So, anyhow, we're going to kind of work on some of these squares today. And I thought, well, if we get enough, what we could do is we could sew them together and make a little market bag tomorrow. So, kind of that's what I was thinking. And I pulled out a total of 4 colors. So today we're going to restrict ourselves to 4 colors. We've got lavender, pink, white, and blue. So the pink that I've chosen is Red Heart Super Saver, because you know I'm economical that way. And this is Pretty in Pink. And for the beautiful turquoise aqua blue, again, Red Heart Super Saver. And this one is Turqua. To me, it's like a turquoise aqua blue. So I think that's kind of what that's indicating. So for our practice today, we're going to call it pink, we're going to call it blue, and we're going to call it purple. Now this purple is Big Twist, and it is the colorway Lilac. So anyhow, pink, blue, purple, okay? Here's the thing, guys. Today, you're going to choose which colors I'm going to work on. So it should be lots of fun. So far, I've started with white in the center, and you can see the little combos that I've made here. I'm only doing 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So very simple. I wove in my tails on these, so they're looking fancy on the back. And we can just kind of talk a little bit about granny squares. But I'm going to start a fresh one out right now. So if you're over on TikTok and on YouTube this morning, spam the chat with what color you would like me to start with. Blue, pink, purple, or white. You choose. Now's the time. Let's get this morning started. And I think all of these call for an I-9 hook. While you guys are spamming the chat with what color you want me to do, I'm going to get my hook ready here. So that one calls for an I-9. This one calls for an H8. So I have 2 different, they're both, all the yarns are 4 weight. This one calls for an H8. The other calls for an I9. When I'm faced with this, I'm going to do the bigger size hook. Okay. I see lots of blues coming in there. We might have to do a survey too, if that might make it easier. I don't know if Gen X or Anvil are here yet this morning. But I see lots of votes coming in here. So I think if the auto tallier, I think for the auto tallier on TikTok to work, you can only write 1 word. So it has to be like blue, purple, or white. But I'm seeing lots of blue this morning. So let's go with blue. And for the next go around, maybe the mods will be able to make us a little voting thingamabob, a little poll. All right. So if everybody is okay, let's do one with blue this morning to get us started. So there's a number of different ways that you can start with these granny squares. And this is how I learned. I learned from Mama Wheeler, who's here on the chat. And anyhow, you can start with a chain amount to do your center, or you could do a magic ring. Now for these, I did a magic ring, but I'm going to show you guys both ways just so that we have all the bases covered here. Okay. So if I start with a chain, I make a slip knot onto my hook. And there's lots of different ways to make a slip knot. I'm sure everybody has kind of figured out their favorite way. If you want to make the April slip knot, I wrap my yarn around and I pull down a loop. So it's crisscrossed like that. Then I put my hook back through my loop. I wrap my yarn around and I pull a loop through. Now, as I pull this up, I hold onto this tail and I pull it straight up. And there's my little uh, slip knot. Okay. Now, I watched a bunch of these videos before I decided to come on here and do this. And it was fascinating how everybody has a different method to do these. Okay. So, a lot of people will chain a total of 4 for their center. Other people I saw do as many as 6 for their center. For today, I'm going to chain 4 for that center. Then I'm going to go back into the very first stitch and I'm going to do another single crochet there, or chain, or single crochet, I guess it is. So that becomes my little center part there now. Okay, so that is one way you can do it. Then you can chain up 3 and then begin your double crochets. This chain of 3 would count as your first double crochet. Now, you guys know I don't prefer a chain of 3. I feel like it bows out too much. But I'm actually going to do this completely different. This is the way that April does it. Okay, so I'm going to rewind all this. I'm going to do a slip knot. So I, again, do the exact same thing as I do my slip knot. I'm going to do a magic ring. So I start with, again, my little crisscross. You can see them crossed there, and I hold it in my finger. Then I wrap my yarn around twice. I go down into that ring and grab up a loop. Then I yarn over and pull through 2 and yarn over and pull through 2. Then I kind of tighten this up a little bit. And that is now my first double crochet. Now we need, for granny squares, we need 3 double crochets. Okay, so that is our first little part here. So we're making these 4 little groupings. Now, here's the other part that is fascinating when you watch people make granny squares. Some people will chain 1 in between their little groupings here. Some people will chain 2. I saw one person that chained 6 and then they worked it up this way. Again, lots of different possibilities. So just bear in mind what I'm showing you today is how I like to do these. It doesn't necessarily make it the right way or the only way. Okay, you have to figure out what works for you. I like to do a chain of 2. Then I go right back down into this magic ring. And again, I repeat my 3 double crochets. So I see a pole popping up here. I think the girls are working on a poll for us. As we get finished with this blue round, okay, we need to start thinking about what uh, color we want to do next, okay? So they're going to put a poll up in the corner as I'm working on the last of this center. We have blue, pink, purple, or we can do white, okay? So you guys vote. The first row here, we're doing blue. So again, I chain 2. Then I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And then again, I'm going to do chain 2. We have a total of 3 groupings now. And now we need to do our last grouping here, which will be another. Andrea said, I have never seen a magic circle done that way. It looks so much less complicated. So here's the thing, Andrea. If you're new to my channel, my name is April. And these guys will tell you I'm a bit of a rule breaker. I'm a bit of a rebel crocheter. And I watched, I kid you not, hundreds of how to do a magic ring. And I'll tell you what, they just did not make sense. I watched them, I repeated watched them. Here's the poll up here in the corner, guys, on TikTok. Everybody vote for the next color that you want to do while I'm finishing up this. Is it working? I can't tell if it's working. So I came up with my own way to do a magic ring. And there's a video of it over on my TikTok. If you want to see how I'm doing it, you can slow it down. But then let me tell you guys how I do this here. So I finished my last 2 chains here. Okay. Then I'm going to join with a slip stitch here. Now, the way that I learned from my grandma is you always work in a corner. So I join right here with a slip stitch. Then I do another slip stitch, and then I get myself over here into this corner. Here's the poll up here, guys. Everybody take time to vote for the next color, if you will. And I work myself over here into this corner, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and snip off, and we'll be ready to start our next color. So everybody vote. There is a minute left on the poll. Gen X worked so hard to make that for us. How about a round of applause for our moderators this morning? They're always doing a fabulous job for us here. So Gen X and Anvil. Anvil's been under the weather, guys. So send her some extra love as she's feeling a little bit of a cold. Thank you for the heart me. Life with Callie, I appreciate that. If you guys want to send a heart me, if you have one coin, you can join the team. Just click right up here. And I think we have like 150 members of the team now. So quite a few people. And thank you for the new followers popping up here. We're getting ready to start our next round. We're doing a little poll here. If you want to vote on the next color, click up here in the corner. We've got beautiful blue. This is the color Turqua. We've got lovely lilac. And we've got a beautiful hot pink. This pink is pretty in pink. And then of course we've got white too. So here's a couple of them I made at the beginning of the live here. Or yesterday, whenever, so that you guys could kind of get an idea. I'm going to do 4 rows here. And if we get enough of these squares, we're going to do a market bag tomorrow. We'll sew them all together. So I got the results in here. Very close race. It looks like we're going to do white next, okay? So let me clear that off my screen, and let's get our white going here this morning. So here's the thing with granny squares, guys. Whenever you're working on any type of a square, you can see I ended my work here in this corner. What I like to do is rotate my square, and I choose a different corner to start in. So I'm going to actually start right here in this corner. And when you do this, this will help to keep your work very, very square. Hey, Chica, good morning. Chica said, I have a question. How big do you make a wheelchair blanket? I want one for my mother in law. The size that I do, Chica, is 35 by 45. So actually, I want to show you guys how to do this stitch. This pink blanket I've got here in my lap, this is 35 inches wide, and I'm crocheting it up as big as I can to get it to 45. Okay. So, this is the very basic granny square, Julie. And thanks for being here. She said she's very new here this morning. And anyhow, welcome, welcome. So you guys could start here and tie on and do a chain of 3. But the way that I like to do it is I like to do a standing double crochet. And the way I do this is, again, I put a slip knot onto my hook here. Okay, so you can see my little knot. Then what I do is I hold the tail here. You can see it. I'm holding it between my pointer finger and my thumb. And I wrap my yarn around. Now, the reason why I hold this tail, if you do not secure it, this is going to spin off and it'll just keep spinning around on you. So you got to secure that tail. I wrap my yarn around once. I put my hook down in the hole. Now you can see my hand is kind of at an awkward angle here. So what I do is I bring my hand forward and I transfer the job of holding the tail. Now it's this thumb's job to do that. Again, if you let this go, it's going to spin off. I grab up a loop and then I yarn over and pull through 2 and yarn over and pull through 2. Gen X said, vote now for the next round. So up here on TikTok, if you want to choose the next color, you could vote right here in the corner. So there is my first double crochet. Now this is a corner that we're making. So we need 3 double crochets. Now, again, I'm going to chain 2. Again, some people only chain 1 here. It is entirely up to you. You'll need to practice and see what you prefer. That's the beautiful part of crochet. Everybody does it a little different. Now, back into that exact same space, I'm going to put, again, 3 double crochets. Now, here is another area where people sometimes do it different. Some people will chain one as they move to the next corner. I do not do any chains, okay? I just move to the next corner and I then will do 3 double crochets. 87 people watching, but only 22 votes. If everybody wants to vote, you can get it right up here. Just click on that little vote and you can cast your vote for the next color that we do. If you're just here to relax, maybe some people are at work, you don't have to vote. There's no pressure. However you would like to do it is totally fine. Okay, so there we have our next corner. And again, I'm going to work to the next corner here, no chain or anything. And I'm going to do 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So this is our third corner. I'm working right over that tail. I'm going to come back and weave in that tail and also this tail, okay? I'm not going to do it on the live. It's rather time consuming and kind of boring. So now I'm going to move to the next corner again. I'm not doing any chain or anything, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. Pinkie Pie says, man, I thought I was quick with the crochet hook. How long have you been crocheting? I've been crocheting for 40 years. I learned from my mom and my grandma. You can see Mama Wheeler is here on the chat. That's who I learned from. And I started out making granny squares. I made granny squares for, gosh, 35 years. It's only been within the last few years that I've kind of branched out and started doing more complex projects. But if you are new to my channel, my name is April. And it looks like, wow, so close. We had a tie for pink and purple. Gen X, there was a tie. So, do we want to put a new poll up and then you guys can decide between purple or pink and see if you want to break that tie? I'm going to join now here with a slip stitch and I'm going to work this slip stitch right into the corner. So, this is again how I kind of finish these off. So, right here, I'm going to do a little slip stitch and work my way into the corner. And now I'm going to snip off the white because I'm assuming we're going to do pink or blue for the next round. Or pink or purple, I guess it was. So, I caught that mixed up, pink or purple. So anyhow, guys, if you are new to my channel, again, my name is April, and I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, and I do a variety of different crochet projects. Here's the next poll up here, guys, if you want to vote. We're breaking the tie between pink or purple. You guys decide which you want to do next. So here is the beautiful pink. This colorway is pretty in pink, so you're voting for that one or for lilac. This is Big Twist Lilac, okay? Those are going to be the next two colors. So you guys choose. We're making these little granny squares, okay? So again, I've seen a number of new followers. While you guys are voting, I'll kind of give you the lowdown about who I am and kind of how I do my things here. But my name is April. And as I mentioned, I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. I am just a hobby crocheter and I do work full time. And so I come on at 7 and then at 8:30 I hop off and I feed the dogs and fill my bird feeders and I get ready to go to work. And so every day I kind of work on a different project. Now, for those that don't know, I am live streaming both this morning on TikTok and over on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube. My handle is Wheeler 8 Acres. Any of the lives that I'm doing, after they process, which takes about 24 hours, I then will do a few edits and then I republish those out. So if you want to rewatch the Granny Squares tomorrow or the next day, you'll be able to go back and find those videos. Now, yesterday we worked on this beautiful pink blanket that I have on my lap. And this is, I'll be publishing out the part one of this blanket is already published. Part two will be published out. I think today will be able to publish that out. So when we get done with all these granny squares, guys, as the poll is going, what my thought was is if we get enough of these granny squares, it would be fun tomorrow to come back and join them into a market bag. So here's an example of a market bag. And we can go over the sew diagram this morning. Hey, Marta, good morning. And I like to do a crochet join on these. So here are some examples of market bags. These are all market bags I have not finished. This market bag here is for my friend Mama C, Carol, who's on the live possibly this morning. I need to finish the handles on it. So anyhow, you can kind of see now these are different squares, obviously. Lots of possibilities on these, but you can do it with a granny square as well. So here's one I've got kind of in the works that I haven't finished, but these are the straps that I make. And they're very time consuming, but they're really pretty cool. So it looks like we have our next color is going to be purple. Thank you so much, Gen X, for putting up that poll. So anyhow, once you get these squares joined up, then you can come back and work on your handle. So you can see this one here, I've got it half done. Now I'm going to work on this inside here. So if we get enough, I'll probably do some tonight to make sure we have enough. But tomorrow I'm going to be joining those together. Okay. What color did I say it was? Was it purple? Sorry, my attention span this morning, I'll tell you. I'm trying to keep organized, but you guys are going to have to keep me on track here. What did I say the winner was? Was it purple? Okay, Anvil said it was purple. Purple. Perfect. Perfect. Um, anyhow, thank you everybody who's over on YouTube watching. Sarah, good morning. I see you popping up over there. Belljoy said on TikTok, those are cute. Yeah, they are really cute. The market bags are really a fun way to do just quick, easy crochet projects. But the handles, I'll tell you, they're kind of time consuming. So, hey, Sparky, good morning. Okay, so again, guys, I finished this square here, okay? And what I'm going to do again is I want to turn my work and choose a different corner. So here's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. So the way I do that is I put a slip knot on my hook. I secure the tail. I wrap my yarn around once. I go into the corner. And then I transfer the job of holding that tail here to my thumb so it doesn't spin off. I grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over and pull through two. So that is a standing double crochet. Now, if you don't know how to do a standing double crochet, you could do a chain of three here. I've seen some people do a chain of two if they don't like how the three kind of bows out. Either way, however you want to do that. And then we need two more double crochets. Okay, so we have a total of three. Now I'm going to chain two. Some people prefer to only chain one here. Again, you'll have to experiment with how your crocheting is and see what it is you like, what method you prefer. Crochet is very subjective, and this is where the yarn artist really can kind of control how the look of this project is, how the square turns out, all of these things. Okay, now again, some people will chain one here. I do not. I just move right into this next space and then I do three double crochets. Sorry, I missed that comment. What was the? Oh, yeah, all social media is Wheeler 8 Acres. You can find me on everything. Guys, I'm just a hobby crocheter. I put out as many tutorials and videos as I can, but I do work full time. But I really do make an effort to, put out new things. And I just come on here so I can, have coffee with my friends and chat about crochet. And I do a lot of kind of more teaching style, I guess, in my lives. And so I do talk about the stitches and whatnot. If anybody needs help making a double crochet and you want me to break that down for you, please let me know in the chat. And I would be happy to kind of explain that if we've got some very new crocheters. We have all levels of crochetings. What makes it a unicorn? Asked Brittany. I just thought it looked like unicorn colors. To me, I see white of the unicorn with its horn and kind of fun rainbowy colors to me is kind of, I guess, just the colors is what calls to me for being kind of a unicorn style colors, if you will. So more to the colors. Brandy asked, do you yarn under or yarn over? And that's a very good question. So, what that means is when I do my double crochets, you can see here I yarn over my hook. And again, I do not do it the quote correct way. Um, I go down into the space, and then what I should do is yarn over. So you can see the yarn is going over the top of the hook here. Pull up a loop and then yarn over. Again, yarn is going over the top of the hook, pull through two, and then yarn over and pull through two. When I learned 40 years ago, we didn't have YouTube or anything like that. We didn't even have a TV when I was growing up. We just didn't have that. We read a lot of books and did a lot of projects. And so the way that I learned, I yarn over, I go into the space, and then I grab up a loop. Now, if we look at this, technically, with the way that I do it, it is a yarn under. You can see the yarn is on the underside of my hook. Some will say I do it incorrectly. I would make the argument that crochet is subjective. As long as you do it, looks like pink is next by a landslide, 66.7%. So we'll do pink next. I do it consistently every single time. So I do a yarn under, and this is how I just do all of my stitches. After 40 years, I'll be honest, I don't know if this old dog can learn a new trick. So I definitely just kind of do my thing. But I do it exactly the same every time. So my stitches all look the same. I don't mix and match. So I don't go a yarn under one time and then a yarn over the next time. I definitely stay very, very consistent. Sharon says, hi, how are you? Good morning, Sharon. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. Um, was the next color pink? I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk and crochet and keeping track of what the color is. I I keep spacing out. Haley says this is so cool. Thank you, Haley. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. Yes. Okay, pink. So one more crochet here. Again, I'm not doing any chain. This is how I do my granny squares. And I go right into this next space here and I do 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then the way that I learned from my grandma is I just join with a slip stitch here and I work my way over into the corner and then I snip off. Okay, so let's snip this off. Anvil said, what is the reason you're omitting the chain one? I just like it to be a little tighter, especially when I do market bags. We can do the next round with a chain one. You guys can kind of see how it is. A lot of people, and I've done that also, they'll do a chain one here in between their groupings. So this is kind of not as tight. Again, it's entirely up to you. I think probably most people do a chain one in between these, and I think most people probably do a chain two. Again, granny squares are kind of all over the board how people make them. It's very subjective, and people have kind of modified it over the years. So basically, when I join these together, they're not going to have an extra chain in here, so there's just not as big of a gap there. And I kind of like that look to it. But if you feel comfortable making a chain one in there, you totally can. We'll do that on this next pink round and we can see how it looks. So you guys can kind of see the difference. So again, into the corner here. Anvil said, I was hoping you would say it eliminates the need for blocking. Anvil, I really I try not to block. I'm definitely, it's not my thing. It's a lot of work, and I don't think we I for me I really only block if I absolutely have to. I start with a standing double crochet in the corner, and then I do 2 more double crochets. So if you can't do a standing double crochet, you can do a chain of 3 here. It would count as the same. The next poll is up here if you want to vote for the next color that we do. These squares are going to have a total of 4 colors. So we're on to the 4th row. Now this will take me a while to kind of crochet this row. Uh, After I do my 3, then I chain 2, and then I do 3 more double crochets right back into that corner. Okay. Now, a lot of people will chain one here and then they'll go into this space. So I'm not working on the top of the stitches here. I'm just going right in the big space here and do 3 double crochets. My pink is kind of stuck in the skein here. So there we have our 3. Then again, chain 1, and now into the next space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So when you do this chain 1, you can see it kind of leaves a bigger space here to work into. However, it does make your work lay a little flatter. So when I'm doing these, you can see how they kind of curl up a little bit. For me, because of how I'm going to use these, it does not matter. Once I sew these together, this will pull against each other and they will pull each other back flat. So you could do a chain of 1 there. Uh, Looks like the next round is going to be pink as well. So we'll keep going with the pink. I'm going to pull this back out and I'm just going to not do those. Uh, get that off my screen. Um, I'm not going to do that chain of 1. I'm just going to continue on with the way that we've been doing it. So again, I do 3 double crochets right into the space. Now I skip over to the next space here and again 3 double crochets. Oh, this is the end of this, huh? This is our last round of this. So pink will be for my next square. I got it now. I'm with y'all. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Very cool. So our next square, the very center, we're going to do pink. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I love this pink. It's just like it's to me it's hot pink, but the colorway is this is Red Heart Super Saver I'm using, and it is called Pretty in Pink. So there is my corner. I do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now again, I'm not going to do any chains or anything. I'm going to move right over to this next corner or next space here, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. No chain, again, move to the next space, and then again, double crochet. I missed, Haley, I have lime green, but it's not here next to me. I should have probably pulled out some other colors, but I just thought we'll do a market bag with just these. Next time, if you guys like this, we could do this again in the future, of course. It's entirely up to you. Granny squares are fun to make. They're very easy to do. I think I think it's a very good beginner project as you're first learning to crochet. So, speaking of which, I asked earlier if anybody needs help with their double crochet, and I did not see the comments if anybody needed help. Mods, did you happen to notice if anybody needs help with their uh, double crochets? Let's see. Lisa said, "Are you weaving the purple end in as you go?" I go over top of it here, but I go back and weave all these tails in. I'm not going to do it on the live. I could weave in one if somebody wants to see how I do it. But I usually don't weave them in on the live. It's kind of boring and it's just kind of time consuming. But I certainly could if somebody needs help with weaving in their ends. What don't you look for when buying yarn for granny squares? I for granny squares, it depends on what I'm doing with them. If I am making a market bag, I prefer cotton yarn. And the reason why is I feel like it doesn't have as much stretch to it versus acrylic. So it depends on the application of the granny square. If I'm making a granny square blanket, I'm totally fine with acrylic. That is what we're using today is 100% acrylic. This is a 4-weight yarn. But like I said, for the market bags, all of these market bags that I have here, like this is all I love this cotton, and it just doesn't stretch as much. It's a more stable fiber to work with, I think. So as I'm doing these, it just kind of holds up a little better. Now there is more weight to it, and For this, I kind of don't really care. Like, I'm going to do a market bag with this anyhow, just because I thought it would be fun to come on and sew it together. A lot of people reach out sometimes to me and ask if they need help with how to join their market bag squares together. So that's kind of why I thought it would be a fun project to do on the live, is just make some of these little granny squares. And I thought it would be fun just to mix and match a bunch of colors. So, I definitely don't want a yarn that's, too thin. Um, but that sometimes can work too. It just depends. Here's a market bag that has a much thinner yarn to it. This is Hobie Friends cotton. It's an 8/4 weight yarn, and it's a very lighter weight yarn. So it just kind of depends. When you do a lighter weight like this, obviously you have a lot more stitching to do. So I think it depends on your skill level, what yarn you would look for. But if you're brand new to crochet and you have not made a market bag before, I would recommend either the I Love This Cotton. It is a very close to a 4 weight cotton for your first market bag. Or if you don't have the financial means for the I Love This Cotton, then I would go with a 4 weight acrylic. Um, Fur Baby says, I want to know how to weave in those ends. Okay, well, I will definitely do that. So here's our little finished square. We're going to weave in some ends. Hey, Mrs. Jarvis, good morning. Uh, Claire Busy Bee said, what are you going to make with the granny squares? I'm going to make a market bag. MJR asked, do you line your market bags? Yes, I do. So I just line them with a cotton. All of these market bags that I've been showing are just kind of ones that I have in the background working that I have not uh, finished. And so I have a lot to do here. Um, let's see. I would like to see one tail weave in. Okay, perfect, perfect. Um, could you teach us how to make baby shoes? Jip, I do not know how to make baby shoes, but I have somebody I would recommend. Over on YouTube, there is a gal that is called Craft and Crochet. Craft and Crochet. Now, she makes the most beautiful blankets and baby stuff. Here's the thing, her accent is a little thick and sometimes hard to understand. So when you're watching, turn on the CC over on YouTube, hit the CC button, and that will show you the captions as she's talking. But I really recommend her for baby shoes and that kind of stuff. She's really amazing. I think she has 1 million viewers now too, over on YouTube. Craft and Crochet. So I put my yarn onto a hook or onto a needle, and then I weave it through, and I just go under in the corners here, and I kind of try to catch and split some of these fibers as I go along. And I weave these in about 3 times. Sometimes I do 4, and I just kind of tuck these in as I go. And once I get those secure, then I just take my scissors and I snip off. Oh, I don't know if I have a gift goal this morning. Let me see if I can do something. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Let's see. Can I change this? Edit. Uh let's try to edit this here. I think there was something new that came on the other day I saw in somebody else's. What was the new one center? Let's see. TikTok donut finger. Gotta lean back here so I can see my phone. The way it comes, I can't find anything. I'll just do heart puffs. How's that? Does heart puffs work for everybody? All right, here we go. We'll set this up. Thank you, just a Gen X girl. I appreciate that. So there is a gift goal for y'all. So anyhow, I would just continue weaving in all these ends. So again, I put it on my needle, and then I go under these little corners, and I think that hides it the best. So that's how I sew mine in. So you can see here now we've got 3 squares done. So the poll for the last one that we did was the pink for the center. Charlene, or excuse me, Shailene says, do you have a video showing how to connect your granny squares? I believe I have one over on my TikTok. We did this bag on the live. This is a crochet join. I am going to be live tomorrow. We're going to join just like this on these squares that we're making today. So if you want to come back tomorrow, I'll be on tomorrow at 7. Hey, Summer, good morning. Megan says, is it hard to make animals? So I think the animals, amigurumis, I do those as well. Um, I don't do them as often on the live. And I made a pumpkin this fall. And what else did we do? Oh, we did some little ghosts. A lot of the animals and amigurumis are pay patterns. And so I don't like to do those on the live because of I respect those content creators and pattern makers. Those are theirs. And so I don't want to infringe on their, intellectual property. And so that's why I don't really do a lot of those on the live because I am more of a teaching crocheter when I come on live. Um, so it makes it hard for me to teach because it is somebody else's pattern. I hope that makes sense. But there are a ton of YouTubes of how to do amigurumis. And like I said, we'll do one occasionally, but it's usually a pretty simplified project. It just takes some practice and understanding how to do your increases and your decreases. But I think after you understand the basics of crochet, I don't know that it's necessarily hard. I think you need to start out with something that's relatively like a quote easy project. Like maybe you start with the loaf cat, or like I said, the pumpkin, something that's round, a snowman, or something like that, where it is a little easier and not so much like arms and ears and that kind of stuff. So that would be my recommendation. What is everybody else thoughts? The new poll is up here, guys. While you guys are voting for the next color we're doing, I am going to try to catch up on some of these comments. I just finished the pink center here. I'm going to close my little magic ring. Now, when I do my granny squares, I do a magic ring here in the middle. And we talked earlier today, you can also do like a chain of 3 or a chain of 4 for your centers, however you prefer to do that. I am doing a magic ring just because I'm kind of lazy. Um, let's see. Let Sorry, just trying to catch up on the comments. I've got 22 over here. What keeps the ends from coming out? So basically, when I go around these, Mary, I'll weave in the end here in the middle. Um, what you do is you're trying to split these fibers. So when you look at a piece of yarn, you've got multiple strands here. You can see if I spread this apart, we've got 4 strands. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my needle to split those apart. So rather than go under this, I'm trying to go in between the fibers. So the next color we're doing is purple. So as I work these in, I'm not going just in the middle of this. I'm actually splitting those fibers apart as I weave in this end. And what that does is the fibers then grab onto each other. And because of the friction or just how the yarn is kind of wrapped around itself or twisted together, it prevents it from coming out. And when I do my very centers here, I do the magic ring and I go around like 4 times. I weave in a lot of this very center. You can see I just go around and around and around. And I'll tell you what, I have tried to get some of these out before in the past, and I end up throwing this middle away because this is so tightly wound once I get this tail in here that I can't even, with a little uh, dental pick or anything, I just can't even get the fibers to give up that little tail. So that's kind of how I do it. And then I will split this snip this little tail off, and they really hold on very, very good. But you've got to go around a lot of times. So I know people prefer to do a chain of three because a chain of three in here or a chain of four will be more secure than a magic ring. But if I do a blanket, sometimes I will do the chain of three or the chain of four. Hey, Mel Crochet, good morning. Shailene says, do you prefer crochet join? I join with a standing double crochet, Shailene, and I'm going to do that next. Um, let's see. Okay, so maybe you can team up with somebody who's okay with you doing that for one pattern because you teach so well. Oh, Carlene, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to consider that. Maybe I can find an easy. If you guys know of a free pattern, where there isn't like intellectual property that somebody has for free, I could totally do something like that. But it's got to be something kind of easy that I can walk people through on the chat. Uh, Clayton Kalia, I think I said that right. I apologize if I messed up. Octopuses are a great way to start. Maybe there's a free octopus we could do. Mel, I'm just making some granny squares this morning. Uh, Claire Busy Bee said bees are easy too. That is a good idea also. Okay, purple is next. The magic ring, Donna, I will show you real quick before I start this next how I do my magic ring. There is a video on my YouTube or my TikTok of how to do a magic ring. I think it's over on my YouTube also. But the way that I do my magic ring, I hold my tail here, and then I yarn over, and I what I call pull down a loop. So it has this little loop, and then it's crisscrossed. And then I wrap my yarn around twice. I'm going to make a double crochet, and I go into that loop, and I grab up a loop, and then I yarn over and pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. Now it does put kind of this long little bar here. And so what I do is I kind of pull on this a little bit and kind of make sure that's nice and tight. And then I continue on with my double crochets. And then I crochet over this tail, and then like you saw, I weave this in a whole bunch of times. Now some people like their granny squares to have more of an open center, and that's another reason why to do the chain of three. On the next square, if time permits, I don't know where I'm at with time this morning, I will do the chain part there. So anyhow, I hope that helped with the magic ring. Again, you can find that on my TikTok if you want to see how I do it. Um, I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. So again, I do that same thing where I yarn over and I bring down a loop, and it's crisscrossed here. Then what I do is I put my hook through the loop, and I grab up a loop, and I pull it straight up. As I'm pulling it straight up, I pull down on my tail and tighten that up. And that is how I make my slip knots. Now, when you finish your granny squares, you can see I finished here in this corner. One thing you're going to want to do is turn your work and start your next color in a different corner. That will help to keep your squares nice and square. So, oh, good. I'm only at 7:50. Okay, thanks, guys. So I still have another half hour. So we should have time to do another square if I get to crochet in here. So then what I do, this is a standing double crochet. I wrap my yarn around. You have to hold this tail. If you do not hold this tail, this will spin off and you won't be able to keep it on your hook, that loop that you're adding. So I hold it the tail here. I put my hook through the work. Now you can see my hand is really like at a weird angle now. So what I do is I bring my hand forward, and now this thumb's job is to hold that tail. If he lets go, this will spin off. I grab up a loop, I yarn over and pull through two, and I yarn over and pull through two. So there is my standing double crochet. You can see it puts the loop up here, and it looks it is a double crochet. So if you can't do that, you could tie on here and do a chain of three. That would be totally fine too. Now I'm going to do two more double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 2, and now right back into this space again, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. There are so many different ways to make granny squares, guys. And just because I'm doing it this way today doesn't necessarily make it right or accurate. Claire says it's 150 over in England. Is it nice and sunny there where you're at, Claire? It's kind of overcast here this morning in Alabama. But there are lots of YouTube tutorials you can find of how to do granny squares. Again, just because of the way I'm showing you guys today doesn't necessarily make it right. You have to find what works for you. And that is the beautiful part of crochet. So, when I come on here, I do like to show the stitches and kind of explain how I'm doing things. And that way you guys can kind of get a feel and understand of why I maybe do the things that I do. But again, it doesn't necessarily make it quote right. Okay. I've said before, I don't know that there's really any quote rules in crochet, right? I recommend you do things consistently. So if you make your stitches, I do them all the same way every single time. I don't mix and match. So if I do a yarn under or yarn over, I do that all the time. I'm going to come back and I will weave in this pink tail later, but I did start working over that tail. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the back. Now, as I move to the last corner space here, do we have a poll for the next color? Oh, here it is. Perfect timing. Right up here in the corner, guys, if you want to vote for what color we do next, we've done pink, we've done purple, have a blue option, or we have a white option. Totally up to you. You guys choose whatever you want on that next poll, and we will get it added to this granny square, okay? Let's see. I missed what the weather was. I wanted to see what the weather was in no overcast and cold. Brr. Uh Snowing in Washington, Roseham. Oh man. It was sunny here the other day. It was it's like 71, and my girlfriend that I work with at work, Amanda, she messaged me on Skype, and she sent a video. She said, oh my god, it's snowing, and here I am in 70-degree weather, and I thought, oh, bless her heart. But the snow was really coming down. She's outside of Seattle. I think that was Monday morning it was snowing in Seattle. So lots of weather still happening. I'll tell you what, I'm ready for spring. I saw my little daffodils are poking their heads up. Okay, so after I finish the last corner here, I don't do any chains or anything. I just move over here. And the way that my grandma taught me is to do a slip stitch here. So basically, to do a slip stitch, if you're not familiar, I put my hook under both bars. I grab a loop up, and then instead of yarning over and doing a single crochet, I just take this loop and I slide it under this one. So it stays nice and flat. And then I go right into the corner again with another slip stitch. And now I'm going to snip off. I'm assuming we're not going to do purple on this next color. I've lost my scissors. How am I going to snip off? Here they are. False alarm. Scissors have been located. Okay. So let's get this kind of cinched up here. While you guys are voting for the next color, right over here on TikTok, you can vote for the next color. Sorry, everybody who's watching on YouTube. I do not know how to make polls on YouTube. Maybe someday we will get that figured out. I really am trying to do better with my YouTube. So thank you, everybody who's watching over on YouTube. I really appreciate it. We've got 130 people watching over here on TikTok. And thank you guys all so much. I see lots of hearts flying up the screen. I appreciate that. Thank you all for sending your love this morning. We have 13,000 hearts over here on TikTok. And we've got 9 thumbs up over there on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for liking the live this morning. Sit with T says, where can I go for beginner lessons? I have some favorites. One of my favorites is the Crochet Crowd. But maybe some other people here have some crocheters or content creators that they like as a beginner. There's a lot of possibilities for content creators. And let's see here. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on these comments. Yes, Anvil said join April's Discord. I think Macy has done tapestries and a few others. So, guys, if you want to get on the Discord, there is a link in the link tree. You can get to the link tree on my profile, and you can get over there. If you don't know what Discord is, it's basically a crochet chat server. And Macy helps to, there's Macy. Hey, Macy. Macy's popping on. Macy helps to moderate our Discord. She does a fabulous job over there for us. Grammy Juju said, April is the best teacher. Don't have to go far. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, anyhow, we just finished this little second row of the granny square. Everybody voted. It was blue by a landslide. 60% said, let's do blue. So that's what we're going to do next here. If you are just hopping on, today I am making granny squares. So the blue that we have is, it's more of an aqua turquoise blue. Yarn Inspirations Red Heart Super Saver. This color is Turqua. This is a 4-weight medium acrylic. The lavender that I'm using today is Big Twist Value, and this is the Colorway Lilac. I just pulled these out of the stash. I thought they were fun colors. To me, they're kind of like when I think of unicorns with beautiful rainbow colored manes and stuff, I think of these colors. So this one here is Red Heart Super Saver, and this colorway is Pretty in Pink. So by the vote, we're going to start the blue next. So let me get my yarn kind of situated here. Thank you to all of the new followers here this morning. I appreciate that. If you are new to my channel, my name is April, and I am a hobby crocheter. I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 Central Time. And I just really enjoy crocheting. I do have a full-time job, so at 8:30 today I'll be hopping off, and then I'll go fill my bird feeders and feed the dog, and then I'll mosey into my office, and we'll get started with my regular job. Okay, but this morning we're just making some granny squares, and you guys are choosing the color. So these are kind of two that I had made up ahead of time to show you all what we were doing. Here's one we made earlier on the live, and we're just making these. I'm going to do sewing together of a market bag tomorrow. So that's why we're doing these. So a market bag, if you're not familiar, is basically where you take some granny squares. Here's an example. And I'm going to crochet join these together tomorrow on the live. So if you want to know how to join your granny squares to make this market bag, we're going to do that with these awesome squares that we're doing today. And of course, I'm going to have to make some more tonight, but don't worry, I'll get all of that done after work. And then we will have a fun project for tomorrow. And I like to do a crochet join. So it will be really, really fun. So for the market bags, I like to do this style here. And basically, this is the front here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the back, you have again 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8. Then you have one in the middle here, 9, 10. And then you have one on each side, 11 and 12. And then you have one at the bottom. Don't forget the bottom, number 13. And this works really well if you have multiple colors. Here you can see another one. This is Mama C's bag that I have not finished. I've been slacking on these market bags. I have other ones here too, I think. Let's see. Here is a blue one. This one has handles started. I have not finished this. But one of the things I like to do is mix and match. So you could do like these in, here's an example. So I did flowers for these, and then I did mosaic for the alternating. So in this case, I did 8 of the flowers, and then the other 5 I did in the mosaic. So basically you need 13. And I have a little diagram that I follow, and I'll show you guys that tomorrow when we do the actual sewing of these. But it should be a fun day to kind of see all this kind of come together. Um, and for my market bags, I really prefer cotton yarn. But for this, I had acrylic, so that's what we're going with. So I'm going to start with yes, I do line them in MJR. All of these that I just have showed you are like works in progress. They don't have the handles done yet. The blue one, this aqua one has the handle. One side of the handle is done. This is how I do my handles. They're incredibly time consuming and I find them rather boring. I just do single crochets. So this is the one side of the market bag handle. Here's the other side that's not finished. I've done half of it. So basically, I crochet along here and do half. Then I come back in the middle part here and then do the rest of the handle all the way along this inside. But there are, I don't necessarily have any tutorials for these handles, but there's lots of them you can find on YouTube. What I do is not really like specialized. It's kind of what a lot of people do. And then I line them with like a cotton. I'll go to Wally World and I'll get, some pretty flower fabric or tie dye or black or like an off white or something. Jen X says you should try the Tunisian simple stitch that Maggie uses for her handles. I'll have to check that out. I think I did that for Mama Wheeler's market bag, and it definitely worked up a lot faster. This the single crochet I think looks really really good, but they are so time consuming that it makes me sometimes not want to do it. So anyhow, I'll have to check that out, Gen X. I'll definitely check that out. So guys, the way that I tie on with my next round is I start with a slip knot on my hook. So I bring down a loop, I crisscross it here. I put my hook back through, I yarn over, and then I pull a loop straight up as I hold the tail and I secure that. So there's my slip knot. Now I finished here in the corner with the purple. And one thing I really recommend for your granny squares, do not start right away back in this corner. Choose a different corner. This will help to keep your squares nice and square. And I'm going to start with a standing double crochet into this corner here. The way that I do that is I hold the tail here between my pointer finger and my thumb. Okay. And then I yarn over. This tail has to be secured. If it does not stay secured, it will spin off. So see how that spun off? We don't want that to happen. So again, secure the tail. Then I put my hook through the space. Now I'm at a very awkward angle here. I can't crochet like this. So I bring my tail forward and I transfer the job of holding it to this thumb here. I grab up a loop. Now we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. This is a standing double crochet. Now, if you can't make a standing double crochet, you could also do a chain of 3 here. Just tie on. Very, very easy. Jen X said, vote now for the next color. So if you're over on TikTok and you want to get in on the voting, right up here in the corner is the poll. You can vote for the next color that we're going to do. So we have, again, pink, the turquoise blue, purple, and then of course we have the white. Okay. I don't have white in my lap. It's over here beside me. So I do 3 double crochets into this corner. Then I chain 2 and then right back down into this corner, I do another 3 double crochets. Now people do this differently. Everybody has kind of their own style for doing granny squares. Some people will chain 1 here and then go into this space and put their 3 double crochets. I do not do this chain 1. I just go right into this space and I do 3 double crochets. I like the spaces to be a little more closed up here. And if you do an extra chain, it makes your spaces just a little bit bigger. So excuse me, again, entirely up to you. You can do it however you wish if you want to do the chain or not. In this case, I'm not chaining 1. Again, in the corners, I'm doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Macy said, I've been using the standing stitches a lot lately. Um, She said, I don't chain either. Macy says she doesn't chain here either. Yeah, I'm curious how many people don't chain. Okay, so let's see. It looks like, wow, white is the finishing round of this by a landslide. So white will be the way we finish off this square. So let me crochet along here and kind of get this round finished up. I'd love to be able to start another one of these before the end of the live. So I think we possibly could have enough time here if I cruise right along. But anyhow, guys, what do you think about today? Has today been fun picking the colors and helping make the squares? Do you all like this format? I thought it would be kind of fun and different. A lot of times I'm just working on blankets or other types of projects, but I thought the granny squares might be kind of a fun day and something a little different. The standing double crochet, once you learn it, I think you would really like it. Once I was totally geeked out when I first learned it, and I really enjoy the standing double crochet. Lucky Mike says, I love the audience participation. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are liking this. Everybody's chiming in with yes. Um, Mel said, definitely yes. I do try to involve you guys as much as I can. It is something that I really do try to make this fun for everybody in the mornings. I know for some of you, it's just so darn early. Some of y'all are just probably getting your coffee and getting your day started. But I really appreciate the fact that you all take the time to spend with me and all of our fabulous friends here in Crochet Land every morning. I appreciate all of you guys. I know I would probably have a different group of people if I came on in the afternoons, but with working full time, it's just not really practical for me. So we do with what we have, you know. Maybe someday I'll be retired and be able to crochet at different times. And in the evenings when Mr. Wheeler is here, I, of course, like to spend time with my hubby. Shelly says, what color are you going to do for putting the bag together? I haven't decided yet. So, do you guys want to vote and tell me what color? Because I need to kind of know so I have a plan for tomorrow. Do you want to use white? Do you want to use pink? Do you want to use blue? Do you want to use purple? What color do you guys want to use? We could make a poll. Let us know what you think, and we will do it this morning or tomorrow morning. I think it would look pretty with white, but white gets so dirty, you know. So I don't think I would like that. But what I was thinking about doing, we have a lot of these squares that aren't going to end in white. So probably what I'll do tonight is I will go around these squares with white on all of them, and then I'll crochet join with a different color. So I'll do a single crochet in white, and then we'll join with a color. So we have to decide for the color, do we want blue, purple, pink? What do you guys think? Or do you want white? Um, whatever color you use the least. Yeah, I just don't want it to be white. Don't you guys think white gets dirty too easy? I think white would look really cool, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on white for a market bag? I'm kind of like, Ashley said, I love watching your lives as a calming moment before I get my day fully started. Nice, nice. Katrina said black would look cool. I agree, Katrina. Black would look really cool, but here's the problem with black. When I crochet dark colors on the live, it's really, really, really hard to see the stitches. And since tomorrow I'm going to be teaching how to join, I think we should steer away from the darker color. I was watching, do you guys watch Leah the Crochet Helper? I was watching her yesterday. She was working on some really fancy granny squares. Deborah says, I like white. Um, Anyhow, Leah was using a red and a green yarn. And when she got to that dark green, boy, you could hardly tell what she was doing. It was really, really hard to see. So, if we could choose something, probably not black, is what my vote would be. But I do love black. You guys know I have black market bags. They are fabulous. Look, right? How cool is that black? Here's another black, kind of dark colored one, right? I love the black. I'm not saying that I don't. Here's another one of black. Black looks amazing. It's just for the live, it's really hard for people to see. So I guess that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do the black, if that makes sense. Gen X Girl says, no white or black. Somebody mentioned earlier light green. Do we like a green maybe? I could throw in some green here when I do some more of these tonight. You guys think I can do the rest of these squares tonight? I only have 4 done. We need 13. I could incorporate in, somebody was saying lime green. That might look kind of cool, right? Should I pull out some more colors from the yarn stash and really liven it up? I think I have. I don't know if I have lime green, but I think I have some green probably in there. I know I have lime green that's cotton. I just don't know if I have lime green that's acrylic and it needs to match. Vote for the center color of the new square, guys. Right up here, you can vote. Shailene says, no, keep with this combo. It's unicorn. Yeah, I like that. I like the unicorn. To me, pink, this color is unicorn. I don't know. I really like this for the unicorn, but that's just me. Um, Maybe we do the pink. The pink is really, I really like the pink. It's kind of Valentine's. We're in the month of February. What do you guys think about sewing it all together with the pink color? Do we like that? I kind of like pink for a sew together color. Might be kind of fun. Maybe you guys are pinked out. Queen says a lighter shade of one of the colors on the square. I have a lighter lavender. I have a lighter aqua blue. I don't know if it would match though. It's kind of more of a greenish blue. I have a lighter pink. Obviously, baby pink is here. I've got baby pink next to me. We can sew it together with baby pink. That's still pretty light colored though. Well, I guess I'll have to think about it. I don't know, but here's what we have so far. Irregardless of what color we sew it together with, I'm going to come back with a row of single crochet all in white, and I'm going to outline each one of these squares to bring it all together. I think we should do a colored center for the next one, kind of how we did one of these. That would look really cool. I'm curious to see what you guys are all going to vote for. Right up here, you can vote still 30 seconds left if you want to. Gen X says you could put 2 colors together. I could do that. Macy says, I love hearing the doggo jingles. Yeah, the dogs are jingling here. Wait, I could tip the cameras up. You guys want to see the baby? Don't talk too loud, doll. He's sleeping. There he is. Do you see him over there? You see him out there sleeping? I don't know if you can see him on YouTube. I can't put the camera up that high, but all my TikTok friends can see him. That's baby Diesel, you know. I kind of messed up my camera when I do that. Sorry. Okay. Looks like purple is the next beginning. So let's get our purple started up here. Purple, purple, purple. What if the tie-in is not a color in any of the squares? Yeah, we could totally do that. I'll look in the closet tonight and see what I have. Um, Lisa says I like the teal. Jennifer says, do you have any sparkly yarn? I might have some sparkly. I might have some variegated yarn that has all of this in it. I have to look. I might have something. I'll go shopping in the yarn room. Okay, I've lost my crochet hook. Here we go. Found it. Okay. He popped up to say hi. Did he pop up? Probably because I was talking. Okay, so the way that I start my did we finish the goal? I don't know how to do oh, here we go. Let's try. Let's set up another goal. We'll do another goal as we crochet out for going to work. How does that sound? Um, just so we have something here to make the algorithm happy. Okay, so guys, there's two different ways you can start these squares. I'm going to start with a slip stitch on my hook. And one way you can do this is you can do a circle chain in the middle. I like to do 4 when I do it this way. So I chain up 4, and then right here I go back into the very first stitch, and I join with a single crochet. Okay, so this then becomes the center of your square. And I'm going to do this square this way, guys, so we can kind of see how this works up. Okay, so basically, this is a very sturdy center. This is not going to come apart. The other way is the way that I've been doing this on the live is with a magic ring. Now, I'm going to start with what I like to do is kind of a standing double crochet. The way that I do this is I pull my yarn up to about the height of a double crochet. I hold it here with my thumb. I bring my hook towards me and back around. I go down into the magic ring, grab up a loop. I yarn over and pull underneath both of those, and I yarn over and pull through 2. There is a standing double crochet. Now, if you don't know how to do that, you could also do a chain of 3. I tell you guys, I still get geeked out with how that looks. I really, really dig it. So then I do 2 more double crochets right into this magic ring. Crystal says, do it again, please. You betcha. Okay, so here is my magic ring. And you can see it's kind of, this loop on my hook is kind of short here. Do I need to get in closer? Let me move my light here a little bit. I got it messed up when I was doing show and tell of the puppy. Okay, so then what I do is I bring this up kind of to the height of a double crochet. I hold my thumb here because I'm just going to twist this and I want it to go. I bring my hook towards me and back around. So see how it puts that little twist there? Then I go down into, oh wait, I can't do it that slow. I gotta I gotta do it. Yeah. Then I go down into the space, grab up a loop, then I yarn over and I go underneath both of those, and then I yarn over and pull through 2. I'm gonna do it one more time. So again, pull this up kind of to the height, bring your hook around, get that little twist in there. Then I go down into the space, into the hole, grab up a loop, then I yarn over and I go underneath, twist it around, and then I yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that's how I do my little standing double crochet, because it doesn't, that way it doesn't look like a chain of 3. It looks like more of a double crochet. So I do my 3 double crochets, I chain 2. Now again, right down into this space, we need 3 more double crochets. Crystal says, I like that. I think I get it. I learned it. There's a gal on YouTube. I watched Moogly do it. You guys know Moogly over on YouTube? I couldn't wrap my head around how she did it. There's another gal I watch, and I think she might be from Belgium. I'm not certain where she's from. She's definitely not in the US. And her name is Tula, Tuula. And I think it's Marie, Tula Maria. And I think it's Maaria. I really enjoy watching her. And she is where I finally wrapped my head around how to do it. And it's really cool. It geeks me out. I still get geeked out every time I do it. I just learned this a couple weeks ago. So it's very new to me. Okay, now I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And I'm just going to put this over to the corner, slip stitch over to the corner, and then I'm going to snip off. Guys, while I'm finishing up here, there's a new poll if you want to vote for the next color right up here in the corner. And for those that are new crocheters, I'm just going to kind of, or excuse me, new to the channel, I'm just, while you guys are voting, I'm going to just kind of do the little rundown So I've seen a lot of new followers pop up over here on TikTok, and we have a number of people watching over on YouTube this morning as well. So here is our little center. You can see when you do the chain, gives you a bigger hole. That was with a chain of 4. Sometimes I'll do it with a chain of 3. I prefer mine to look like little star flowers is how I prefer. I don't care for this look of this hole, but a lot of people do like the bigger hole in the center. So really it's a personal preference. This I did with a magic ring, and this was with a chain. I'll go back and I'm going to cinch this up tighter when I weave in my tail so that it matches the rest of our squares. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for the follows. If you are watching me, I'm going to be popping off soon. So now is your chance to support your girl here. If you want to give a follow, I would love, love, love that. My name is April, for those that do not know, and I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. And it's at 7 a.m. Central Time. And I am a hobby crocheter. I've been crocheting for 40 years. Sarah says Tula Maria is the lady she was talking about. Yes. Thank you, Sarah, so much. I appreciate that. So it's Tuulamaaria. Does anybody else watch Tula? I really, really enjoy her. This is what the back of my squares look like. Here's another color that we did. Um, and so, anyhow, you can kind of see. There's one other thing I want to mention on this square, but let me kind of finish this up here. So, guys, if you are looking for any of the yarns that I'm using today or any of the projects that I'm doing, you can find these on my link tree. Now, if you're watching me over on YouTube, there are links in the body of the live video. And like I said, I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings, and I do have to hop off at 8:30 to do my 9 to 5 job. I do work full time, and I have to be at work at 9. But I just love coming on and crocheting with friends. So thank you guys all so much for the follows. Thank you for the gifts this morning. I really appreciate that. Maggie just became a member of the team. Maggie Unicorn is here, that guys, this morning. Maggie, thank you so much for being here. You guys, if you don't follow Maggie, Gen X, please pin Maggie. Y'all go give her a follow. If you great, great crocheter. I watch Maggie all the time. Please support Maggie's channel because she is phenomenal, and I just love her. And thank you so much for being here, Maggie. I really appreciate it. And thanks for becoming a member of the team. So the vote was in, and we voted for blue. So this is a Red Heart Super Saver this morning. And the colorway is Turqua. I think that's how you say it. I don't really know. To me, it's like turquoise. So that's what we're doing for the next round. So the way that I like to do my granny squares is I have finished over here in this corner. And what I like to do is rotate my square here. And I like to start in a different corner. This will help to keep my square very nice and square. So then what I do is I start with a standing double crochet. The way that I do this is I put a slip knot onto my hook and I secure my tail between my pointer finger and my thumb. And then I wrap my yarn around. If you do not secure this tail, this will spin off on you and you'll not be able to keep that added loop onto your hook. So just hang on to that tail, wrap your yarn around, and then I put my hook down into my space here. And you can see my hand is very cramped up. I can't crochet like this. So then what I do is I bring my yarn forward and I transfer the job of holding this tail to my thumb. Then I grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is how I make my standing double crochets. Now, guys, there's a different number of different ways you can do a standing double crochet. If you look on YouTube, I'm sure you can find another tutorial. I don't know that I have a tutorial for this on my page of how I do it, but there are a lot of options. If you're not comfortable with the standing double crochet, you could just tie on here and do a chain of 3. That is totally fine too. Now I need to add 2 more double crochets here. So we have a total of 3 double crochets. Then I'm going to chain 2. This becomes our new corner space. So right down into this space, I'm going to do another 3 double crochets. Now, a lot of people like to do a chain 1 here before they move to their next corner. I personally do not do that. I like to keep these spaces kind of more tight. So what we're talking about here is we look at these squares, this space right here. Some people will do a chain and some people don't. It's entirely up to you. You'll have to determine what your style is and what your preference is as you're making granny squares. So uh, the project that I'm working on today is we're just working on some granny squares. And this is a very beginner friendly project. After the live on concludes today, I am both live on YouTube and on TikTok. It takes about 24 hours for the video to process, and then I do some edits, and then I will post it to my YouTube channel. So if you want to come back and rewatch how I make my granny squares, you're certainly welcome to do that. My handle is Wheeler8Acres on all my social medias. And that's how you can find me over on YouTube as well. So again, I'm not going to do a chain here. I'm going to come right here into this space. And again, 3 double crochets. And another way that I have seen people make their granny squares, I work all my granny squares from the front. Some people, as they start a new row, will actually turn and they will work from the back, and then their stitches will be kind of alternated. I prefer the look of the front of the double crochets, and so all of my squares, I always work from the front. Again, it's kind of a personal preference. I watch a lot of Creative Grandma and Cody show over on YouTube. Cody turns his granny squares. So he most of the time is working continuously in the round, not changing colors. And when he gets to his corner here, he will turn his work and then go back the other direction. So that is an option for you as well. Like I said, if you go to YouTube and you put in how to make a granny square, hundreds of thousands of videos are going to come up. You have to take all of that data and then come up with what works best for you and your style. And so what I'm showing you guys today here, I'm joining with a slip stitch and I'm just going to work into the corner here. It's not the only way to do this. It's not necessarily the right way to do this. It is just how April does her granny squares. And, when I learned, I didn't have YouTubes. I learned from my grandma. I learned from Mama Wheeler, who's on the chat. And anyhow, MJR said, "What was the name of the granny square book that you gave away?" I happen to have it right here because I don't even remember it, but I love this book. There's a link for this on my link tree. The Granny Square Source Book. So this is a fabulous book. It looks like by the vote, pink is going to be next. But this book here, guys, it has lots of different fancy squares. And the thing that I love about this book is it has diagrams for these. So definitely, if you are a diagram person like I am, I really love all of these squares. This book is copyrighted. So of course, I would not be able to make these squares on the live, but it is a really cool book to have in your crochet if you want to add something to your crochet book collection. Can we see a bag again, please? Oh my gosh, you guys, I have 45 messages here on TikTok. I'm doing my very best to keep up with the comments, guys. Tomorrow, we're going to sew these squares together, okay? And we're going to make a market bag. So here is some examples of market bags I have in the works. Here is a pink one. The pink one just needs to be lined. I do have the straps done of the pink. You can see I did it a little different. This is like a tan and pink with textured roses, little curly petals. Here's another example. I got this pink color. It's more like a mango color. I got this at Dollar Tree. It was some of the cotton yarn that they had there. I love this cotton, the yellow, and then a variegated. So it's really pretty, I think, when you do the little variegated sunflowers. What else do I have here? I've got a blue one. This is another square. This is one I learned on YouTube. I can't remember who made this off the top of my head. When we did the chicken video, we did this square. Here's another sunflower, sunburst, whatever you want to call it. Really pretty blues. This one I have half the handle done. One side is done. You can see it there. The other side, I still have to do half of it, so it's only half done. I have to still come back and crochet in the middle here. So those are some examples of market bags. So what we're going to do tomorrow, I'm going to tonight after work make the rest of the squares. Now, guys, if you want to make a market bag like this, you need a total of 13 granny squares. Okay, and that's what we're going to try to. I'm going to do the rest of these tonight after work. We have a total now of 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on the fifth one here. Was pink the next color, guys? I'm gonna do one more round here, Gen X. Then I'm gonna hop off and go to work. Oh my gosh, I have 72 messages. Let me catch up on these messages real quick, guys. Um, Shailene says, "Do you ever use the backs for forward facing on the bag? It's a cool look." So this instead of the front, she's saying use the back. I have not. Um, I definitely I could try that. I've never done it before. I've always just done the front. I like the front look of the stitches a little better. It's just a preference thing. Um, so yes, Katrina, I do work from home. I live in Northeast Alabama and I work in Arizona. So I have a time difference. And anyhow, that's how come I'm able to crochet in the morning. Hey, Tanita, good morning. Do you make market bag videos up? Um, I have, uh, I think on TikTok, a how to join video. And I think you'd have to look on my TikTok. I think it was this purple bag. Look for, where did my purple bag go? Look for this video right here. It shows how to crochet join these. This is what we're going to do on the live tomorrow. We're going to join these squares. You can see how to do the mosaic. This is on my YouTube. And we did these on the live. I just did one very similar to this the other day that you can find on YouTube. Don't worry though, I'm sure we'll be doing more of this stuff down the road. I come on 3 days a week, so um anyhow, Mama Wheeler says, do whatever floats your boat. Absolutely. Thanks, Mom. My mom's silly sometimes. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm doing the watermelon one. So Shailene, the watermelon one is totally on my list to do because to me, the watermelon bag feels like summer. And I'll show you guys tomorrow. I also have a Independence Day one, a star granny square that I've created. We need to do that one here soon too because we're gonna do a 4th of July market bag. And I need to do that kind of soon. We need it maybe at the end of February, we'll start working on that. Sorry, guys, I'm really trying to catch up on the comments. If you are new to my channel and I missed some of your comments, please, 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 guys, don't take it personally. I really do try, and sometimes this chat flies so fast, it's hard for me to keep up with everything. Carolyn says, what's the name of your YouTube? It is Wheeler 8 Acres. All of my social media is Wheeler 8 Acres. So I'm going to do one more round here before I have to go to work, guys. So let's do the pink and then we'll sign off, and you guys will all have to come back tomorrow so you can see what squares I've made and how we're going to join those together. So again, I finished here on this corner. I'm going to join with a standing double crochet. Again, not in the one I finished, but just rotate your work around and pick one of the different corners. So I start with a standing double crochet, and then again, I do 2 more double crochets. So we have a total of 3 double crochets. and then I chain 2 and right back down into this corner. Again, I am going to do 3 double crochets, and that completes our corner. Now, some people would like to do a single crochet here. You totally could do that. We're going to be working into this next space. I do not like a single crochet there, so I'm going to pop that back out. I'm going to skip over all of these stitches, and we're going to be working into this space. So a lot of times you work in the very top of your stitches here. In this case, we're going to work into this space, and again, we need 3 double crochets. So very easy. We're just going to pop those in. And again, you could do a chain here if you would like, but I'm going to skip that chain. And now I'm going to work into this corner here. And again, right into this space, work 3 double crochets. So instead of going in the top of the stitch, go right into this space. Chain 2. And again, if you want to know how to, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you all. If you want to know how to do the double crochet, I yarn over, I put my hook right through that space out the back. Then I grab a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now I do my crochet a little different in that I do a yarn under when I pull through. But the quote technical right way to do things, call the crochet police. I'm breaking the rules. I do a yarn under. So again, you could do a chain here. I'm going to avoid that, and I'm just going to go right into the space again and do 3 double crochets. Moving over to the corner here, and again 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. I do have to go to work this morning, guys, so I'm going to be kind of speeding up here. I'm going to go ahead and do the final round because you guys know I hate to leave things undone. So that row might go kind of quick, but anyhow, we will certainly get that done. And then I'm going to have to do a mad dash to my office. But hey, if it was me, I would sit here and crochet all day. Again, here is how this little square is turning out. Now I'm going to go right into this space here. And again, put in our 3 double crochets. Just love the colors of this. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch. That's how I learned from my grandma. And I move over here into this corner. And it just makes it a little easier when I go to tie in my tails because the string that hangs off, the yarn end, is in a little better position so that I can work it then under the corner of the granny square. So, yes, the brand of yarn that I'm using this morning, the pink color is the Red Heart Super Saver, and this is the colorway Pretty in Pink. So this one, Red Heart Super Saver, this is a 4-weight, 100% acrylic yarn, and I'm using a size I9 hook. Now the lavender that I'm using this morning, which is also fabulous, is Big Twist. Again, 100% acrylic. I'm fancy. I got all the fancy brands this morning, don't I? And I'm using, this calls for a size H8 hook. I have opted to use the larger size to match the red heart, but this again is a 4-weight acrylic yarn. And this fabulous blue, oh my gosh, look at that. I just love it. Red Heart Super Saver, colorway Turqua. To me, it's turquoise, but the colorway is actually Turqua if you wanted to pick up this color. And don't these colors just play nice together? Gosh, I just love it. So we have our next poll. Everybody has voted, and it looks like white is the winner of the final round. The white that I'm using today is also Red Heart Super Saver, and it is a 4-weight acrylic. And as I mentioned, I'm using a size I9 hook. Now, guys, for my market bags, I typically prefer 100% cotton yarn. I love this cotton. All of the previous examples I showed you is the I love this cotton. I wanted to do these fun colors so that everybody could participate and really enjoy the live this morning. And I didn't have all of them available in my stash in the I Love This Cotton. So that's why I went with the 100% acrylic yarn. As I mentioned, it's not my preferred yarn. If you're doing a market bag, splurge, get the cotton. It really has a nice feel to it. and it makes it so that it doesn't have so much stretch on your market bag, which is what I would really recommend. But a lot of people do acrylic for their market bags. There's nothing wrong with it. As I mentioned, there's no rules in crochet. So if you want to use acrylic, if you've got something in your stash, you go for it. So, I'm just going to finish up this white here, but I hope you all have had a fabulous, fabulous day. Thank you to all our moderators, Gen X and Anvil. Can we please get a round of applause for our two moderators who've once again done a fabulous, fabulous job on the live? Also, can we get a shout out to Macy, who moderates our Discord? Give Macy some love this morning. Also, guys, we've had some health things that have been brought to my attention over the past couple days. A lot of you guys know Danny Crochets, and Danny Crochets, keep her in your prayers as she's going through some stuff right now. Please, please. Just send some love her way. Also, my BFF Carol, who you guys know as Mama C, also has been in and out of the doctor's office. So keep her in your thoughts as well as we move through the day today. And Anvil has been a little under the weather. So send her some extra love as well as these folks work on their healing. And anyhow, I love this group of people that we have here. Guys, if you are new to my channel, my name is April. I will be back tomorrow at 7 Central Time. I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 Central Time, and I crochet till 8:30. And I do work full time. So I'm getting lots of time checks here on the live. Um, and that's why I'm kind of doing a fast crochet out as we finish this little square. We've been on for an hour and a half making granny squares this morning. Tomorrow we're going to sew all these together and make ourselves a little market bag. So be sure, and I will make a live event for that. And be sure and subscribe to that. Be sure and turn on the notification bell on the TikTok if you are following me. That way you get all of my notifications when I am going live. But again, last day this week. I can't believe we're already headed to the weekend. Boy, things are moving fast, right? So anyhow, with that, guys, Macy says, keep me in your thoughts too, y'all. My concussion symptoms have gotten worse, and we keep working on it. Macy slipped and fell on the ice at her job. So lots of people that need our love. And thank you guys so much for being such a great supporter of not just me, but everybody in this community. Deborah, thank you so much for being here over on YouTube today and supporting me and keeping that chat going over there. I swear, Deborah, you're like the star of the YouTube over there, keeping me organized. So I really appreciate that. Guys, here are the squares we've made today. What a fun, fun day. I hope everybody has a fabulous day. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. And I hope you all have a fabulous day. Bye for now.